Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Maggie Schuyler, President and CEO of the Perry Area Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the Governmental Affairs Committee of the Chamber, we would like to take this opportunity to inform you, the public of Houston County, of the different candidates that are running on the Republican ticket for Houston County Sheriff. Please watch this video and be informed of the candidate. Hear why they think they are the best candidate for Houston County Sheriff. On May the 21st is the preliminary voting for Houston County Sheriff. So please make sure that you are registered to vote. And if you are registered to vote, please make sure that you exercise your right to vote in the preliminaries on May the 21st. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Maggie Schuyler, President and CEO of the Perry Area Chamber. And on behalf of the Governmental Affairs Committee of the Perry Chamber, we are excited to welcome Will Kendall here to talk to us today about why he should be Houston County's next sheriff. So Will, introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, thank you for having me and doing this. My name is Will Kendall. I'm the current district attorney in Houston County. Currently, I am not only the DA, but a Republican candidate for sheriff of Houston County.
So Will, why do you want to become sheriff of Houston County, and why do you believe that you are the best person for the job?
Yeah, so great question. So why do I want to become the sheriff of Houston County? I first and foremost, it's something I'm called to do, and I'm going to be obedient to that and answer that calling. I've enjoyed serving the people in Houston County in the courtroom. That's been an incredible experience over the last few years. And, I see a need in law enforcement for good leadership to carry on, Houston County's tradition of being a good place to live, work, and play and raise our kids. And I'm going to, do my best to be in that position to earn the votes from the citizens of Houston County and lead a good sheriff's office.
So what do you want to accomplish within your first 30 days, 90 days? And is there anything that you feel like you need to implement early on if you become the Houston County Sheriff?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, in the first 30 to 90 days, I think, a lot of people probably have some good catchphrases as to what they intend to do. I think on a more realistic approach, what's important and when you first, assume office in January 1st, is to make sure that people understand their stability. Stability within the Sheriff's Department, stability within law enforcement in Houston County, be able to work with other agencies. And I think, that's kind of the goal in the beginning, is to make sure that those foundations, those bridges between, the Sheriff's Office, the citizens, and the different agencies, that it's there, it's strong, and that it's cemented in, a point of that we're going to continue a good service and serve the people in Houston County. Another very important thing that I think is something that, our sheriff's office will need is good recruiting and retention. I can't expect that, any candidate, to include myself, is going to go in and fire a bunch of people. It's not going to happen. But at the same time, we do have a national law enforcement shortage, and Houston County is not immune to that. So I think that, from the get-go on day one, you have to implement a plan to be able to actively recruit new deputies, new jailers. And that'll include more than just posting on social media. You have to get out, to the tech colleges, to job fairs and beyond, and go out and seek good deputies. And I think that'll be a priority. You need a full staff to be able to provide the service to the people of Houston County.
And what kind of leadership do you think that you're going to be able to bring into this position of the Houston County Sheriff?
Sure, I like that question. So what kind of leadership? I pride myself as a servant leader. I wouldn't ask anybody to do anything I myself either haven't done or wouldn't continue to do. And I expect the same out of, leadership within the DA's office, within the Sheriff's Department. You have to know and stay connected to what's going on a day-to-day basis. It's kind of hard to be the sheriff and call somebody in and want to reprimand them when you yourself haven't conducted a traffic stop in many years. So, I myself, like to pride myself in the fact that I'm a servant leader. That I'm out there, stay connected as to what's going on in the community, and I think it allows you to be a better sheriff, a better leader, and allows you to create and make better decisions as to how to better serve people.
So in what ways do you think you could improve the transparency within the Sheriff's Department of Houston County?
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously in Georgia, we have our open records request law. We have sunshine laws that fall in that category. I think beyond that, I am a fan of, stricter community engagement. Town hall meetings, a direct line of communication between leadership of the sheriff's office and the citizens that we served. I mean, at the end of the day, we are tax-paid public servants, and that's it. Nobody is special. We are all, residents of this community. We all want to see it flourish and be better day to day. And I think having the ability for citizens of Houston County to call a number and almost like putting in a ticket with the ID department or IT department, they'll be able to call a number to be able to provide their complaints or information or suspicions about criminal activity, and that will be tracked through the sheriff's department within a division, and we will be able to respond to those things and provide feedback to the public.
So, kind of building upon that, so that's obviously one change that you would like to make, but are there any other changes that you could foresee making in the sheriff's department, and how would you implement that change?
Sure. A lot of what I believe in is that just like any organization, agency, or business, that the better quality of life of the people that we work with, you'll see a better quality of life in the service they provide. So, increasing the quality of life for deputies not only will create a better command staff, a better morale, a better work service, but you also will see a better quality of life for the citizens of Houston County. And I think some of that involves changes in updating of the policy, changes in understanding what the overall mission is at the sheriff's department to be able to be effective and efficient in the way we police, and of course active recruiting and retention.
So, budget can be a little tricky, and you earlier said obviously you're paid by the taxpayer. So, how do you plan to manage the department's budgets, their resources in an efficient manner? How do you manage the budget and the resources efficiently? And then, how would you like to stay up to date on the latest trends, advancements in law enforcement, while still being able to stay within a budget and within reason?
Absolutely. So I think I'm actually the only candidate who has current budget experience in government. So right now, as a district attorney, I have a county budget, a state budget, and then I also operate under two reimbursement grants from the state and federal levels. So I've been fortunate to be able to work with the county commissioners and understand what the needs are for completing the mission of the DA's office and requesting additional funding where it's necessary. But at the same time, over the last few years being the district attorney, I've come in under budget quarter after quarter, year after year. I am a fiscal conservative. I understand that tax dollars, ought to be used responsibly, and I'll bring that same thing to the sheriff's office. I'm finding new ways to innovate in utilizing tax dollars appropriately. One of the things I think is a miss, and something actually Perry Police Department just did last year, was get involved in state grants. There's grant money out there that allow us to advance our technology to act as force multipliers in law enforcement, and I think the sheriff's department should take part in that.
Okay. So, kind of speaking on some of the other resources, how would you like to allocate resources within the departments to combat both physical crime and, now more importantly too, the cyber crime, since that's on the rise?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually just worked a pretty big case involving a lot of citizens in Houston County, where hundreds and hundreds of checks were taken out of the Postal Service, and then those checks were copied, and the information on them were changed in order to exploit people's bank accounts. That unfortunately is the very common trend right now, and it is a major hit to our banking system, to our taxpayers, to especially our elderly people who are getting taken advantage of. I think that's really important. You have to be able to answer the calls for service at the sheriff's department. I think part of those priorities in my mind are protecting our children and putting an SRO at each one of our schools. But at the same time, you have to understand where you need to be efficient in law enforcement. And smart policing also requires that we have the ability, capability, and the manpower to be able to investigate those type of crimes. Because the reality is not everybody can investigate, financial crimes, banking crimes. I mean, they're very intricate in nature. There's many opportunities where we've had to actually call in forensic accountants in cases. So it can get pretty sticky and hard to get through sometimes. But the criminals are are out there. They're finding new ways to break the law, to exploit people. And I think the simple answer is, as sheriff, you have to be able to meet those needs. You have to be smart about doing it and how you utilize your police force.
Okay. Well, Will, these are all the questions that the Governmental Affairs Committee has gathered for you, but we would love for you to be able to take the opportunity to tell the citizens of Houston County why you feel that you are the best person for the job for Houston County Sheriff and why they should vote for you.
Sure. I'm a family man. I'm a man of God. I'm a Marine. I have a background in law enforcement as a criminal investigator, as a dog handler. I've served the last few years as district attorney. I have a recent track record in making leaps and bounds in Houston County to combat criminal activity. I'm the only candidate who's handled a government budget and actually administrated from public office. I haven't been stuck in law enforcement for 20 plus years. I haven't been stuck in administration for 20 plus years. I have a mixture, a combination of those things. Despite being a lawyer and a subject matter expert in criminal law, I also have a law enforcement background and the ability and a conservative heart, to protect the people in this county. It's my wish that as sheriff, I can live with my family, with my 2 daughters in this county, and they can go to the gas station at 9 o'clock at night and not fear for their life. I want that place. I want to protect my family. I want to protect yours. And as sheriff, I will do that.
Well, we appreciate it, Will. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.